I didn't know what to expect when I took the job at the Hollow Pines Motel. At 23, I was in desperate need of cash, and cleaning an old, abandoned property seemed like easy money. How hard could it be to dust off a few cobwebs and sweep a couple of empty rooms? But Hollow Pines was not just any abandoned place. The drive there should have been my first warning. The road stretched endlessly through a barren desert, flanked by skeletal trees and weather-beaten signs. When I finally arrived, the motel loomed in front of me like a forgotten relic from another time. Its cracked neon sign flickered weakly, spelling out H_O_NS_TEL, as if it had given up trying to stay whole. The first day passed without much incident. The silence was unnerving, broken only by the occasional groan of the wind forcing its way through shattered windows. By the second day, I had started clearing out the reception area, a room cluttered with broken furniture and damp brochures advertising attractions that no longer existed. I can still remember the faint smell of mildew mixed with dust. The floor creaked beneath my feet as I stacked box after box of faded records and yellowed papers. Just as I was starting to feel at ease with the desolation, my boss, a faceless voice over the phone, called with another task. "Check the attic," he had said. His voice crackling like the connection was from another era. Might be something useful up there. The attic was worse than I imagined, dimly lit, stifling, and alive with the whispers of unseen things brushing past my ears. I told myself it was just the wind. I had barely begun sorting through the dusty relics when I heard it. The faintest knock. At first, I froze, waiting for the sound to repeat. It didn't. My pulse slowed, and I convinced myself it must have been a loose board or a stray animal. But when I descended the ladder, box in hand, I heard it again. This time, it was deliberate. 3 slow, deliberate knocks on the motel's front door. I set the box down and approached cautiously, peeking out to the grime-coated glass. The desert stretched out before me, empty and still. No cars, no people, nothing. But the moment I turned my back, footsteps echoed through the hall. My heart stopped. The footsteps were deliberate, heavy and unmistakable. They came from a hallway leading to the rooms, a hallway I hadn't yet entered. Room 13, I remembered. That's where the sound was heading. I told myself to leave, to just turn around, get in my car, and never look back. But something pulled me forward. Call it curiosity, call it stupidity, I had to know. Room 13 was infamous among the locals who still whispered about Hollow Pines. They said it had been locked up for years, a safety hazard because of some structural damage. But as I approached the door, it stood ajar, revealing a sliver of darkness beyond. "Hello." My voice was small, swallowed by the emptiness of the motel. No answer. Pushing the door open, I stepped inside. The air was thick, heavy with a smell I couldn't place at first. It wasn't until I saw the bed, pristine except for a single battered suitcase resting on it, that I realized what was decay. The suitcase looked ancient, its leather peeling and buckles rusted. Beside it, an old rotary phone sat on a nightstand. Its presence felt wrong, like it didn't belong in this time or place. And then it rang. The shrill sound cut through the silence, piercing my ears and making my blood run cold. I shouldn't have answered it. I know that now. But in that moment, I couldn't stop myself. "Hello," I whispered, barely able to form the word. The voice on the other end was soft, childlike. "Why did you leave me here?" A chill shot down my spine. "What? Who is this?" But the line went dead. I dropped the receiver as the stench of decay intensified, filling the room until I could barely breathe. The door slammed shut behind me with a deafening bang, and the walls seemed to close in, their peeling wallpaper curling like grasping fingers. Panic overtook me. I clawed at the door, twisting the rusted knob until it finally gave way. I stumbled into the hallway, gasping for air, only to hear something that made my heart stop again. Laughter. It wasn't playful or innocent. It was sharp, echoing from the attic I had just left. I didn't look back. I couldn't. I ran out of the motel, into the desert night, and didn't stop until I reached my car. My hands trembled as I fumbled with the keys, and the engine roared to life, breaking the eerie silence. I didn't return to Hollow Pines. Not the next day. Not ever. I quit over the phone, ignoring the protests of my boss. Weeks later, I heard that the property had been sold. The new owners had started demolition when they found it, a small grave beneath room 13. The skeleton of a child buried in a shallow, unmarked pit. I don't know who they were or why they were left there, but their voice still haunts me. Why did you leave me here? Some mysteries are better left unsolved. It started as just another adventure. I had always been drawn to the eerie and the forgotten, finding beauty in decay. Abandoned places told stories no one wanted to hear, and I captured them through my lens. This time, my journey brought me to an old, crumbling carnival on the outskirts of a small town. The carnival was a photographer's dream. Rusted rides, broken lights, and shredded banners swayed in the cold breeze. The air carried a faint, sickly sweet smell of old popcorn and grease. As I walked past the faded ticket booth and into the heart of the abandoned fairground, I felt a strange sensation, like I was being watched. I dismissed it. It wasn't unusual to feel uneasy in places like this. I spent hours photographing the remnants of the carnival. The Ferris wheel, its carriages swaying gently in the wind. The funhouse, with its cracked mirrors distorting the already unsettling surroundings. And the carousel, its once vivid horses now dulled and chipped. The light began to fade, and the golden hour cast long, haunting shadows over the grounds. Perfect for my gallery. Eventually, exhaustion set in. I spotted a clown-themed tent, its fabric tattered and sagging, and decided to rest for a while. Inside, the air was thick with dust, and the scent of mildew was overwhelming. The faded colors of the tent seemed to glow faintly in the dim light. I dropped my gear, sat on a cracked wooden crate, and began reviewing the photos on my camera. Then I heard it, laughter, faint at first, coming from the direction of the ticket booth. I froze, straining to listen. It couldn't be possible. This place had been abandoned for years. The laughter grew louder, echoing through the empty fairground. A chill ran down my spine, but I convinced myself it was the wind playing tricks. Abandoned places had a way of messing with your head. I focused back on my photos. Minutes passed, and I was beginning to calm down when a voice broke the silence. "Jake." It was a whisper, barely audible but unmistakably clear. My heart raced as I looked up. Across the field, near the carousel, stood a figure, a clown. Its makeup was smeared, its eyes dull and lifeless. The edges of its tattered costume fluttered in the wind. I blinked, hoping it was a trick of the light, but it remained there, unmoving, staring at me. My instincts kicked in. Grabbing my camera, I bolted back to the tent, tripping over debris as panic clouded my senses. When I reached the entrance, I stopped dead in my tracks. Outside the tent were clown shoes, oversized and worn, positioned perfectly as if someone had been standing there. But no one was there. I told myself I was imagining things. My mind was playing games after a long day. I shoved the thought aside and made my way to my van, parked just outside the carnival gates. I locked the doors, drawing the curtains over the windows, and spent the night tossing and turning on the small bed in the back. I couldn't shake the image of those dead eyes staring at me. Morning came, and I told myself I was being ridiculous. I powered up my camera to review the shots from the previous day. My stomach twisted as I scrolled through the photos. Every single one had the clown in the background, staring directly at me. Sometimes it was far off, nearly blending into the shadows. Other times, it was close enough to make out every cracked line of its smeared makeup. I should have driven away. I should have erased those photos and never looked back. But I didn't. Something about the clown pulled at me. Was it real? Could it have been a person? I needed to know. I told myself I'd go back for just one more photo. Just one. I had to prove to myself that I wasn't losing my mind. The carnival was eerily quiet when I returned. Even the wind seemed to have stopped. I gripped my camera tightly, my eyes scanning every corner for movement. I retraced my steps, photographing everything again, my heart pounding with every click of the shutter. When I reached the carousel, I felt the air change. It was heavier, suffocating. The clown stood there again, closer this time, its lifeless gaze fixed on me. I raised my camera, unable to resist, and snapped a photo. The flash illuminated its grotesque features for a brief moment before the darkness swallowed it again. And then the world went silent. I don't remember much after that. Just the sound of my own ragged breathing, the pounding of my heart, and the sensation of being watched. The clown's laughter echoed in my head as the shadows seemed to close in around me. No one ever found me, or at least no one who could tell the tale. My van sat abandoned by the carnival gates, my camera still inside. Those who dared to venture into the carnival claimed to hear faint laughter and see flashes of movement in the shadows. Some say they found my camera, but the photos had changed. Now, in every shot, the clown isn't staring at me. It's staring at them.